Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking $10 body sunscreens. Now, 'tis the season to slather yourself from head to toe in sunscreen, but that can definitely get kind of expensive if your body sunscreens are really small or if they're like $20, $30, right? So today I want to offer you some affordable options that come in large sizes with small costs. I have American drugstore options. I have Asian beauty options, water resistant, non-water resistant, something in here for everyone. So if you're so ready to find out some affordable sunscreen options for your body this summer, give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. First up, Coppertone Sport Sunscreen Lotion. This offers SPF 50 with broad spectrum protection, and this comes in at $9.99 for 207 milliliter of product. So this is a chemical sunscreen. It is an American market sunscreen, so they're using 4 older generation chemical filters. And this formula, it does not contain any drying forms of alcohol, but there is some fragrance in here. I actually find it to be incredibly light, and the scent itself doesn't linger. It's really, to me, a very light smell of like traditional sunscreen smell with a little bit of like a pleasant, clean smell to it. It's not super floral. It's not overpowering at all. And like I said, once you apply it, you really don't smell it again at all. It's incredibly light. So I really enjoy the texture of this because it's a lighter lotion type of texture. Now, some body sunscreens can have like a really thick or greasy feel to them. It's almost like they sit on top of your skin and never really like dry down or absorb. This really does apply more like a lotion without that like greasy or thick after effect. So I super appreciate that. It really just spreads very nicely onto the skin, quickly dries. Surprising because it doesn't contain denatured alcohol. That often is aiding the drying process on the skin. Without the denatured alcohol, I do still find that this adheres and dries on the skin very quickly. It doesn't feel thick or heavy. It's not greasy. It doesn't leave a shiny look on your skin. And there's absolutely no white cast to this at all. I've used this so many times, reapply and reapply and reapply, no pilling whatsoever. And I don't find, even with the reapplication, I don't find it to build up really thick or greasy on the skin. Because, you know, sometimes that first layer feels okay, and then that second layer, you're like, no, thank you. This really does have quite an elegant feel to it for a body sunscreen. Very, very impressive. So this is really one of my favorite money-saving picks for body sunscreen. You could absolutely put this on your face, by the way. I personally don't, but the texture is so good, I think you could absolutely do that. This could be your head-to-toe body sunscreen. But I mean, the large size here, over 200 milliliter of product for $9. So good. So this retails, like I said, $9.99, so $10. But this is always on sale. I don't think I've ever paid $10 full for this tube. I'm always getting manufacturer coupons and things like that. This particular bottle, I just picked up a new one, and there was a $2 off coupon. So I only paid $7 for this. So I just think the value is so good. And like I was raving about the texture, right? You know, I really do enjoy that lightweight lotion type of texture. This is offering water resistance up to 80 minutes, but it just doesn't have that thick plasticky feel on the skin that some water resistant sunscreens can kind of have, that I really don't love. You know, I respect and use those really heavy duty types of sunscreens in the right situations, but most of the time I don't like that thick plasticky greasy kind of feeling on my skin for like every day. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it just makes me want to jump into the shower. Like, I hate when my skin feels greasy. I hate when I put on a sunscreen that feels like it never fully absorbs and I'm like leaving marks on furniture from my greasy sunscreen legs. I really don't like it. I don't like how it feels. I don't like the messy, fussy kind of nature of it. This really solves all of that in that really nice lotion-like texture while still offering sweat resistance. Now, like I said, this has been a favorite of mine for a while. I even took this with me when I was traveling through Greece last year. And I mean, if it can hold up to Greece, like, it's a good sunscreen in my opinion. I brought this with me to get myself started on my travels, and then I definitely went crazy with European sunscreens. That's a different story. That's a different video. But this got me started with reapplying 2 or 3 times a day. This tube lasted me about a week and a half. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you really have to think about like arms, legs, if I was swimming, like, you know, torso, the neck and chest, the back, like every area of my body covered 2 to 3 times every single day, right? For like 10 days. That's a pretty good value for this sunscreen, definitely. This is really good for sports, like the name suggests, for being active, for sweating outside. But I have to say, this is not my most favorite pick for swimming. That's a whole different ball game, right? And so while I think that this will hold up to swimming, you want to just be a little bit more mindful about really reapplying this. For sweating, I think it really holds up to sweating. And that's really where my review lands with this one. This is my choice, my value pick for when I'm going to be really active outdoors, when I'm going to be sweating, when it's really humid outside. This is something that I will lean on during that time. But let's talk about swimming. This is the Neutrogena Beach Defense Sunscreen Lotion. This offers SPF 70 with broad spectrum protection, and this comes in at $9.99 for 198 milliliter of product. So this is also a chemical sunscreen that can be found on the American market, and so that does mean that they are using 4 older generation chemical filters. Now, interesting, it's the exact same filters that Coppertone is using, but they're using different percentages for the sunscreen protection, because this is achieving SPF 70 where Coppertone was achieving SPF 50. So this is water resistant up to 80 minutes. And I have to be honest with you, like Neutrogena just in general, I think is one of the most innovative brands for sunscreen in the American market. I really do think they offer some really, really great sunscreen formulas. And I do think their Beach Defense line is probably one of the best water resistant lines for specifically for being in the water. I find their sunscreens incredibly water resistant. Now, this doesn't use any drying forms of alcohol, but it does have fragrance. And unlike Coppertone, the fragrance actually lingers quite a bit. So I would describe the smell of this like old school sunscreen with like a tropical twist. You remember those old sunscreens from like the 90s that kind of smelled like coconut or like a creamy pineapple kind of smell? That's what this smells like. I don't know if that's just because it's like when we think beach, we think like pina colada. I don't know, but like that's definitely what this smells like. It's not really cloying. It's not like over the top. It's kind of pleasant, but it's definitely a scent that lingers. I'm wearing this on my legs today. I applied it probably 2 hours ago, and I can kind of still get, like every so often I'm getting a whiff of it. It's very faint after that point in time, but like it's still there. So just be aware, the fragrance is something that will kind of hang around. It will kind of scent you a little bit. So let's talk texture, because this is definitely thicker than Coppertone. We are getting into the territory of sunscreen that feels kind of like it coats your skin. Remember how I was saying like it kind of feels a little bit plasticky, kind of like just like sensorially, it's like maybe a little bit much on the skin. We're getting into that territory. It's not so thick and heavy. It's not like super greasy or anything to the point where you just like, ugh, I just want to like wash my limbs right away. It's not quite like that, but it definitely has a heftier feel on the skin. And even once it has absorbed, you will feel a little resistance. If you run your fingers across your skin, you're going to feel some resistance, because that's the water resistance of the sunscreen. It does have a little bit of a coating at the top of the skin. This is not a sunscreen that I feel like you're going to leave marks on furniture, like grease-wise. I do feel while it's emollient, I do feel that it absorbs nicely. It doesn't sit like on top of the skin all greasy and shifting around. It definitely does dry fairly well, but it takes a little bit longer. You're going to feel a little wet until it absorbs into the skin, about 10-ish minutes. But once it does, it doesn't feel like it's transferring all over your clothes or all over your furniture or car or anything like that. You will see a little bit of a shine on your skin as well from this. Again, this is like a really heavy duty type of sunscreen. It may not be your choice for like casual sun exposure necessarily, but like if you're gonna be in the water, you definitely do want something that is really water resistant, and this texture really holds up to that. The Beach Defense line. This is the line that I go for being in the water. I love to swim, and for quite a few years, when I used to be in an apartment, I would love to go swimming in the summer. I had an outdoor pool in my apartment complex, and I would just love to go and swim laps. I super enjoy it, but I have to say, no other sunscreen has protected my body the way like this one has. And this is just so affordable. It's so water resistant. With other sunscreens, like they maybe last like 10-15 minutes in the water. If you're only going to be in the water for 10 or 15 minutes, fine, okay. I like to be in the pool for a lot longer than that, and this is something that really holds up to water very well while still being kind to my pocketbook. So I really, really appreciate this formula, and like I said, it's one of the few that has kept my skin protected, because when you're in a pool outside in the summer, it is like a magnifying glass, you know what I mean? Like it's just intensifying. The water actually like intensifies the UV rays, and you're actually getting a lot more sun because it's getting reflected off the top of the pool, and it's getting a little bit more intense in there. So you're actually more prone to tanning and to burning and to sun damage than even if you were just sitting right next to the pool. So it's really good to have a heavy duty water resistant sunscreen, and that's exactly what this fulfills for me. I really think that this is the best option for swimming. The water resistance is so good. And even though it has a little bit of a thicker feel, you know what I mean? I do actually think that the formula overall is still fairly elegant. Next, let's talk about Kose Suncut Perfect UV Gel. This offers SPF 50 plus PA+4 protection. This is 100 milliliter of product that comes in around $9, although I have to admit sometimes the price will creep up a little closer to $12. So this is a J Beauty sunscreen. They're using 4 chemical filters for the protection here, but because it's from the Japanese market, we actually have a mixture of the older generation filters and newer generation chemical filters. So this one does not contain any fragrance, but it does have some denatured alcohol in it. This is also rated for water resistance up to 80 minutes. So the texture here is a true medium gel texture. This is not a lotion. This is not a cream. This truly does have a gel texture to it, which isn't always that common with Asian beauty sunscreen. So I really like that gel texture because that means it spreads really nice and thinly across the skin while still being very protective. It absorbs and dries incredibly quick because of the denatured alcohol content here. And it just feels so good on the skin. It feels like almost invisible, but it's still protecting you at the same time. It is not sticky. It's not greasy. It doesn't leave you shiny. It doesn't make you like walk around like this while your sunscreen is drying. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel super wet on the skin. Immediately once you apply it, this is absorbing and drying and forming that protective film on the skin. Now this is another one where you can, all of these products really, you can use these on your face. I personally don't, just because the denatured alcohol content in here, I have to admit, it's pretty high. I said it doesn't have a smell. It doesn't have added fragrance, but the smell is denatured alcohol. It goes away very quickly though. My face is a little bit sensitive to that. I can kind of get like a dry, tight feeling from denatured alcohol, especially if there's a high content like in here. So if you're not sensitive, please put this on your face. It's a beautiful texture, but I've actually really been loving this for applying to like my arms, sometimes my legs, because like I said, that texture. I don't like sticky, greasy types of textures. This feels incredible on the skin while still offering really good protection. You know, I have relied on used American, older generation chemical filters for sunscreens for many years, and I felt fine in them, but nothing really compares to the newer generation filters. And so I really like that this is achieving such high protection in such a airy, almost weightless kind of feel on the skin. I just don't feel like I have to go jump in the shower and like scrub the sunscreen off of my body immediately. So I just love how comfortable this is on the skin. I like how easy this is to, while this is a little bit bigger, this is about twice the size as normal Asian beauty sunscreens, 100 milliliter. I know it's probably not the biggest sunscreen out there, but I really like the size of this because this is surprisingly will last you a little bit longer than you're thinking, especially if you're only applying to like exposed areas like your arms. But this is so easy to throw in your bag to carry around with you for reapplication. So, I mean, if you're really looking for like a non-sticky, non-greasy type of body sunscreen, or like a face and body sunscreen, something for casual sun exposure, I think that this is going to be really great. And I really want to emphasize casual sun exposure with this one, because what I mean by casual exposure is really like when you're running errands, when you're out and about, when you're going to work, maybe you're sitting outside having drinks or eating food or whatever, and maybe like the sun's not beating down intensely on you. That's what I mean by casual exposure. I do not mean like working out outside. I do not mean swimming. I don't mean that at all. Because while this is rated for sweat resistance, in comparison to Coppertone and Neutrogena, this doesn't really stand up to water the way that those products do. This will stand up to a little bit of sweating, and it will stand up to humidity. You know, humidity when you step outside and all of a sudden from head to toe you're sweating, like underneath your clothes even, you're like, I don't even know, I didn't do anything but step outside and I am clammy and sticky and wet. This will hold up to that, but it's not going to hold up to like really heavy duty sweat. It's absolutely not going to protect you when you are swimming. So I just, you know, even though it's rated for it, my experience just does not hold that up at all. So I want to be very clear about how I'm recommending this. This is definitely going to be better than non-water resistant sunscreens, but it's not going to hold up to swimming. It's not going to hold up to water. And that's really what I'm going to recommend it for. So if you want that really beautiful gel texture with no stickiness for casual sun exposure, this could be a great one to consider. This is the KO Nivea Sun Protect Super Water Gel. This offers SPF 50 PA+3 protection. Now, this is a 180 milliliter pump bottle. I love the pump action on this. And this one, okay, so this one, you really got to know where to shop to get the best price on this, because this in Japan, this retails for about $7. It's such a steal. But there are some websites out there that jack the price up for international consumers. So you could pay as much as $17 for this. I know it kind of breaks the rules of the video, but I do have some affordable, authentic links for you in the description box. So you can definitely check that out so you can actually get a super good price on this. Even if you pay more than $10 though, I still think this is a really good value. I love the pump. I like the larger size, larger for J Beauty, right? But I also like that this comes with refills. And to me, that adds so much value to this product. So the refill is 140 milliliter of product. You can get it for as low as $6. That's the retail price in Japan. Again, links in the description. But sometimes you can pay closer to like $12 or $15 for the refill. Again, even if you're paying a little bit more, there's so much value to this product. And this is actually for a long time when, you know, yes, the Neutrogena Beach Defense, so good for swimming. But like I said, it can be a little thick on the skin. When I was really getting into Asian beauty sunscreens, like I wanted one for my body, but they're so tiny. And it really took me a while to figure out this product. You know, this product is almost 2-3 times, almost 4 times as big as most Asian beauty sunscreens are. This, I love the pump. I love the refills. This gave me so much value. When I just wanted some sunscreen for casual exposure, this really fit the bill. So this is offering SPF 50 PA+3 protection. They're using 3 chemical filters. There's a mixture here of the older generation and the newer generation filters. This formula does not contain any added fragrance, but there is denatured alcohol in here. This is also not rated for water resistant. The only one in the video that doesn't have like a water resistance rating to it. So definitely do not use this for like heavy duty sweating or for swimming. This is definitely casual sun exposure. So the texture is a lighter, looser kind of gel texture. Again, we've got that true gel texture here, and it spreads beautifully in that really kind of like that airy type of layer on the skin. It's so weightless. The denatured alcohol really does mean that this dries in a snap. So you don't have to wait around that long for your body sunscreen to dry, which I find so convenient. I hate waiting around for body sunscreen, especially to dry. So this feels amazing. There's no greasy factor. There's no emolliency or moisturization. There's no shiny finish to this whatsoever. It just applies. You know what I mean? It just absorbs. And then you don't have to think about it for the rest of the day. You're not going to be constantly worried that you're leaving marks. You know what I mean? Like I was saying before, all over furniture and stuff. This just is completely dry on the skin, dry touch type of sunscreen. So convenient, really, really amazing texture. And like I said, years I've used this. Now this isn't even the most updated bottle. This is probably like one renewal ago, because I've just been buying the refills of this. And this is something that I really want to highlight in the video because it's something I've used for a really long time. And I know quite a few of you also really do enjoy this. I do find it sometimes hard to find though. It is in stock. Like I said, I've got links, but sometimes it falls out of my routine because I just can't find it for a while. And then there'll be abundance of them on different retailers, and then it'll go away for a little bit. So you do have to work a little bit harder to find this one, but I do think that it is worth it if you really just want a elegant, non-sticky, non-greasy, quickly absorbing sunscreen that doesn't feel heavy on your skin. You don't need any water resistance. This is such a beautiful one and one of my favorite longtime sunscreens for casual sun exposure. So I hope you enjoyed those affordable body sunscreen picks. I'm curious to know, what kind of sunscreen are you using on your body right now? Let me know in the comment box below. If you want some more body sunscreen picks, definitely check out my sweaty sunscreen video that I released a couple of weeks ago. Now, if you loved the video, it was helpful to you, but you haven't hit subscribe yet, please take a moment before you go and hit subscribe. I'd be so honored if you'd come join our community. We love sunscreen. We love skincare, especially Asian beauty products. So come join our community and maybe turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop when I post the new videos or shorts throughout the week. I really hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next video. Bye.